And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we talk more high school football. As the head coach of the Redlands East Valley Wildcats, Gavin Pachot. You might know him as Gumby, but Coach Pachot here on the show. And Coach, listen, I appreciate it. Before we talk some pigskin, I want to talk about your Wildcats hat right there, man. That's old school. That's like junior high, 8th grade pep with the starter jacket and the starter hat, man.
Absolutely. As my boy says, you see it. Yeah, man, I've been trying to get this hat for a while, and we finally found a guy up here to get Fred Chavez and campus security up here. Colton High School graduate, shout out Colton. He hooked us up, man. We got the red, and we rock the black too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good look, man. That is a good look. Well, Coach, let's talk some football here. I know if people are watching the show live on Wednesday night, you've got a Thursday night game, short week to get ready for Alta Loma. As a head coach, as a football coach, period, when you have one less day to prepare for an opponent, how does that ramp up your preparation schedule in terms of getting ready for a Thursday night contest?
Yeah, it's a very chaotic week. Even though I went through it a couple times last couple years, coming off a kind of disappointing loss to Vista Del Lago. Kids were geared up, fired up. They're, texting me over the weekend, telling me, we're going to be all right. We're good. We believe in what we're doing. It's still, you lose a day. You lose a day of preparation. And Alta Loma's a good football team. I know they got a new football coach over there. And we just can't watch the freshman game. And, on film, they look really, really good. West Covina's a beast. They're a very, very good football team, so I don't think that score is indicative of who they are as a football team. And, we got our hands full with them, and we got one less day to prepare. So it's chaotic, but, that's what you sign up for. I can't wait.
One less day to prepare, but maybe one less day to kind of marinate, like you said about that tough loss to Vista Del Lago. It's a chance to get back out on the field and hopefully get your first win in the new stadium and feel good about yourself again, right? Absolutely.
The stadium has injected life into the program like nothing other. It's been a long time coming. The fans, I say again, I don't know how the city feels about it or anything else or the school, but I was here at the beginning of Kurt's run, and this school is on the map because of what that man did, and nothing but respect for him. Could put the stadium in his name, but just the fact that there's a stadium here, it's not completely finished. But it's just giving the kids life and energy, especially coming off a tough season. It injected the type of life and energy we need to know that this thing's moving in the right direction. And kids have worked very, very hard. We've practiced in it all summer, had our spring in it, and it's a great thing for this community and for the school.
Coach, in terms of your legacy, I mean, obviously you want to get that first win in the new stadium on campus, Alta Loma on Thursday night. Do you talk about the importance of that maybe to your guys? Obviously you want to win every game, but, just trying to get, that first one, on campus in the new stadium.
We talked about making history last week. We'd be the first team to play in the stadium and stuff like that and get the first win. But we talk so much about competition. I don't talk about wins and losses. I talk about competing. If we go out and we compete harder than the other team, wins and losses take care of themselves. I've been saying that since I was the head coach at Rialto High School, and I firmly believe that. I don't get hung up on wins and losses. You drop one like we did here, and then you could hang your head. But we just gear back up and keep competing and learn. We played 45 minutes of pretty decent football. And had 3 minutes that we got to figure out, and our kids played 48 minutes of just furious effort and hung in there to the very end. Shout out to Vista Del Lago for not giving up either. So, we'll figure it out. We've got to figure it out coming into this thing, and I'm sure some new mistake will come up that we couldn't foresee, but a short week. We probably won't be as tight as we were. We were preparing for Vista Del Lago since February. So, I think it kind of showed that much preparation. You come out and you kind of look, okay, now we got a new opponent. So we're excited. We're excited to get this thing going, and we got another crack at it in the stadium. And so we're very, very excited what tomorrow night holds for us.
Coach, I know that was a tough 1-point loss, but over the course of this week, do you try to reiterate to your players, hey, we did a lot of things well? Like, I know that loss, it stings and it sucks, but we did some things well, guys. Like, keep your chin up. There's some positive things we can pull from that.
Absolutely. Lean on. I got some guys here that I've been coaching with for a long time. Bob Stengel, called him this weekend for some advice. He's been my mentor. I'm in coaching because of him, and had a long conversation because had to talk me off the ledge. I was pretty hot still on late Saturday night. And he gave me some great advice, man. And he told me just what you said. You can't go in and talk about the negatives. You guys put up 40 points, much, much better performance than any performance last year. And you got to celebrate those things and, find a way to fix the last 3 minutes and focus on that and focus on the positive. And thank God he was there to do that, because I definitely wasn't feeling that way. I probably wouldn't come in here Sunday and been a different guy, but our coaches work very, very hard, are very, very loyal to me and the kids. And, let's coach and figure it out and not harp on, so much negative. It was disappointing, but these things happen in this game.
Well, Coach, one of those positives, obviously the offense. You were just talking about it, going over 40 points. Your quarterback, Isaac Vitella, only a sophomore. I got some of his stats in front of me, and I know you have them too, so correct me if I'm wrong. He was 36 of 45, 440 through the air, 5 touchdowns. I mean, wow. I mean, what a game for a sophomore QB to really stand up against a very good Vista Del Lago team. Coach Tui always has a great defense, so when you look at the offense and what Isaac was able to do, like what really jumped out at you? What stood out to you about the offense?
What stood out to me, we had the emergence of Fred Adams. He's one of the kids that came into us last year and had an opportunity to leave and stayed. And told me, he said, "Coach, I want to be number one." And I said, "Okay, you got to do number one things all off season, or number 25 still looks good on you." And it's been rough. It's been up and down, and we've not seen him perform like that. In the scrimmage the week before, he started to kind of go off, and then had a little mishap, and then kind of disappeared a little bit. So, we've known that the kid, he's had that kind of talent in him, but he just took it to a whole nother level. His preparation was great, and he's saying all the right things. He's becoming a number one. He's becoming a guy that wears number one. He hits me up after the game and says, "Is the Altaloma film up yet?" He's not looking to put up highlights of himself. He's looking to prepare for the next week's opponent. And, he just played outstanding. We've got another receiver, Tamir Mack, who didn't really get a chance to go off, but who's just as talented as Fred, and we're waiting for him to come on. Ivan Corona, another sophomore, had 135 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, and an extra point. And made a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of he caught 2 touchdowns running the wrong route, which is crazy.
Better lucky than good sometimes.
Oh man, yeah. But I think the thing that really made the offense go, I think it's it's obviously a quarterback, is the poise that Isaac Vitella has. He plays like he's a senior in his mind, and it's so funny because he's such a goofy, immature little sophomore outside the gridiron. But when he comes down there, he's about business, and he I keep telling him 24/7, 365 as a quarterback, and he'll get there. He'll get there. He's young, but he's outstanding. I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing. He reminds me combination of Armando Herrera, who's coaching with us now and has got cleared to coach, and he's out there working with Isaac, and reminds me a little bit of my son, Jordan Pachot, who was very, very calm in the pocket. And I think those 3 quarterbacks have that in common. They're just things slow down to them, where I think it's moving a little faster for other people.
Man, to be compared to those guys, that's good company for Isaac. And like you said, just a sophomore to be that mature already at the varsity level. Coach, where do you think, he goes from here? Because you've been around some great quarterbacks, including your son. I mean, he's only a sophomore. Let's fast forward maybe 2 years from now. Do you feel like he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks to maybe come out of REV, come out of the area?
Yeah, I think, it's such a tough thing to do. And you want to do well at the high schools. I think if we can keep this crew together, and keep the young freshman crew that's coming up together, he's going to do some incredible things. They got a couple receivers down there at the freshman level that when they get a little older, when Isaac's a senior and he's got his guys he has now and some juniors underneath him, the future is he's going to go off this year. I think keep him healthy. He's a little guy, he's a sophomore, but to keep him healthy, he's going to do some big things for us this year. He already has. He's running our offense very, very well. We're very, very pleased with what he's doing, and he gets better every week, and it gets more comfortable every week. So, with Armando now being here and work with him, it doesn't have to be my voice. How I get sometimes.
No, I don't know. I've never heard you open your voice.
I can walk away and go coach the receivers and the tight ends, and Armando can go off with those guys. And it's a very calming, nurturing. I've been there before. Voice for those guys. Him and Sean Wrightstone are, I think, in great, great hands with Armando. So I'm super, super excited with us moving forward. Little setback, but we're okay. It's we got 9 more games to figure it out. So very, very excited to get to Altaloma and see what Isaac can do. And it's a little tough, because like you said, we got the short week. And, I definitely feel like we're a day behind, but we cut down some of the things we're doing and try to do a few, maybe smaller playbook, but try to do those things very, very well.
Speaking of 9 games to go, you mentioned Altaloma Thursday night. Coach, without giving away all your secrets, what do you think is the key to victory for the Wildcats?
We have to limit our mistakes. The big focus this week has been eliminating those routes that we didn't execute very well on. I always say, another guy, man, Deshaun Burns, coach, you're either coaching or you're letting it happen. And when we make mistakes like that, I coach the receivers. It's on me. I haven't given them enough reps. I haven't fixed it enough. So the emphasis is on fixing us, being better at who we are, not making those mistakes, especially when it comes down to where we need to lean on the offense to get a couple first downs and close the game out. But one thing I would do differently with me, myself as a play caller is, we're running the air raid, we're throwing the ball to get where we were to put us in position to be at 41 points. And then we, try and run a 4-minute offense where we're trying to pound the ball out and bring a fullback in and bring everybody in the box. And that's kind of right what Vista Del Lago wanted. And, what I learned is keep attacking, never stop attacking. And Mike Leach said that, and I let it go, and it cost us. I'm very disappointed in myself for that, but lesson learned. I will keep – I don't care how much times the people in the stands won't understand it. The reporters won't understand it. It's what got us there, and we got to keep attacking those holes that are still there and not change who we are, be the same guy. So – and then, we got to understand that Altaloma's a good opponent, and we studied them. I don't think their scheme's overly complicated, but they play hard. They play extremely, extremely hard. That's one thing that stood out on film was those kids play.
Coach, I don't think I've asked you this before, but, win or lose, when you go to bed on a Friday night, do you think about all the great plays you guys made or all the plays that you left out there and man, if we had that one and that one, it could have been a different game?
Can't even remember. And it stays with me through Sunday night. The night is I hate mornings. So as the evening gets long, my brain starts going. It's very, very difficult to sleep because I think about the bad ones. What could I have done if I would have done this? Could I get out? I should have been in this formation. We should have called this play. And those things eat me up all season, whether we win or lose. It's been a long time since it's been 11 games since we won. So there's been a lot of sleepless nights, so we're trying to figure it out, trying to do a good job. And I know now, you got, don't stop what you're doing. I know people already question the call on 3rd and 12. What run play do you call on 3rd and 12? To get a first in your own territory when you're trying to, stop the clock. There's a lot of armchair quarterbacks, but that's okay. That's a business we're in.
I'll say you've been around football for a long time. I'm sure it's not the first time you've heard, people second guessing things or I know more than the coach. That's what I would have done.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. Best of luck to you guys on Thursday night at Altaloma. Oh, the last thing I wanted to ask you was, if people are coming out to the new football stadium at REV, I know there's that little parking lot attached to the football field, like where the track is. And there's the big one up by the campus. What would you recommend, people coming out to check out the Wildcats? How would you recommend where to park and get to the stadium?
Well, that small parking lot, they've kind of cordoned off for VIP, district people and teachers and things like that. And then the big parking lot is for the general public. I think you might be able to sneak in there if you get there early enough.
What if your name is Pep Fernandez? Can you get in there maybe?
Pep Fernandez can get in there with on the list with a hat coming too.
That's the right answer. Coach Pachot, listen, man, I always enjoy our conversations. Go get them on Thursday night against Altaloma, man. Really appreciate the time.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you looking out for us.
You got it. That's Redlands East Valley head coach Gavin Pachot here on the Inland Sports Show, everybody.
Thanks, Pat.